Hello OSA, Taras here. Welcome to another episode of our running series, What is a Fish? A couple weeks ago we covered the Serenity, the groupers, the sea bass, the basslets, and I talked about how despite there being some significant pros to those species, they're really good eaters. They love to eat big meals and they don't starve to death very easily because they can take in a big meal item and take several days to digest it. The drawbacks is that with the exception of the basslets like the Royal Grandma and the chalk basslet, which are extremely manageable and I recommend them a lot, things like the panther groupers, Goliath groupers, all these big grouper species, and in fact many of the sea bass species as well, they simply get too big for most aquaria to be able to manage, and they can also quickly eat lots of smaller, very expensive reef fish. Now, we're going to be talking about a subfamily of the Serenity today that's very important and in many ways is extremely unique to their grouper and sea bass cousins. This is the Anthiidae. These are the Anthias. So these guys are direct descendants of the groupers, but they made a choice millions of years ago to split off and they became open water reef slope fish. So for the most part, the Anthiidae are located in areas where you have coral reefs and these big drop-offs that go down hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet. And that's what these fish do. They occupy the reef area and they go down and they have these vertical migrations on daily or seasonal levels. And you'll see the Anthias acting as these micro groupers, skimming up and down these coastal reef slopes, eating fish eggs, plankton, marine snow, copepods, fish larvae, lobster larvae, crab larvae, basically the smorgasbord of microbial goodness. So that's one of the reasons why they can be very difficult to keep in captivity, despite the fact that they are a schooling/shoaling fish. They're very colorful, and with a couple of exceptions, most of them stay extremely manageable in size. But replicating the shoal of a reef aquarium can be very difficult, and thus many deeper water Anthias species, such as the Aurora Anthias, are very expensive, very rarely collected, and we still don't know that much about them, and people still don't have consistent success with them. Other species, like the lyre-tail Anthias, occupy more shallow water reefs. They can be catered to a little bit more predictably inside the limited area of a reef aquarium. But the keys are to provide extremely high quality water filtration to simulate that constant influx of oceanic pure water coming up from the depths, and lots of food. Not only frozen food and lots of meaty prey items, but making sure that your tank is well aged and well stocked with various invertebrates such as copepods and other charismatic invertebrates that the Anthias can constantly be grazing on. Because unlike their grouper cousins, these guys do not have a very large cardiac stomach. They need to constantly be grazing on these high quality food items and constantly passing them through their guts in order to keep up their high, quick metabolism. That being said, Anthias are quickly becoming some of the favorites of seasoned reefers alike, and people have made great strides in being able to aquaculture them. Being able to use pelagic copepod larvae allowed biota to breed this species, the pink square Anthias, relatively recently. So there's a lot of excitement, a lot of different work going into closing the life cycle of the Anthias and providing several unique members of this subfamily sustainably aquaculture to the hobby. So the Anthias, the Anthiidae, micro groupers of the reef, a lot of different particularities to their care requirements. Only recommended for someone that has a lot of experience in the reef aquarium hobby and has a well-seasoned tank that will maximize your chance of success with these guys. They have very particular social requirements. You have to look up on a species individual basis to see what is the correct pairing of males and females that you can have to have the most optimum success in the tank volume that you're dealing with. But overall, there's a lot of light on the horizon for these subspecies because they are being aquacultured. We're learning so much more about them, and because of their small size, they can and will be more and more prevalent in future marine tanks. Once again, if there's any fish family or aquarium subject that you would like us to cover, feel free, please comment below, make any recommendations for us, and as always, ring the bell, subscribe, like, and feed that hungry algorithm like it was your fish at home. Have a great day.